What's up guys, welcome back to another PvM coaching video. Today we're going to be taking a look at a Raxa kill. So we've done a Raxa kill before as well, but this one is a little bit different because it's not best in slot by any means. It's just tectonic and seismic, so we don't have any tier 92s, we don't have any tier 95s. We do have, I think we have tier 99 cursors. Let me just have a quick check and see what we've got here. So if we skip through a little bit, because I can't actually see, you must have them quick play, right? Yeah, you got tier 99 cursors, and I believe you do have pretty decent perks. You've got an overload, you've got these spiritual prayer potions. Your UI is tripping me out a little bit because obviously you're slightly transparent on the UI, but then you've got the background, but it's what it is, it's fine. You got Ripper Demon with scrolls, good to see. Spiritual prayer potions, perfect for those. Jazz book, because you are not using a staff of Armadil, so a jazz book is absolutely fine. And I believe you're using maniacal. We'll see what spell you're using and stuff as we get through. But yeah, we're going to start this off. The request for this was just to take a look at DPS again, just to increase kill times and stuff, and just basically see what we can do to help you out. If there's anything that we can pick up on, give you any advice. So this is pretty useful for a lot of people. I like doing these PvM coaching things because it lets me see things that I would not normally think of. So giving tips on stuff that you can see then and there definitely helps loads. So hopefully it helps you guys watching as well. And thank you for submitting this clip. Revolution Bar looks pretty good. Let's see what spell you are using. You're using Insight Fear. Okay, so I would probably use Exannuate, in all honesty. We're going to see what your adrenaline use is like. If your adrenaline use isn't really high, like you're milking the crap out of, say, your Essence of Finality, which you've told me has a Zamorak staff in it, right? If it had a Gothic staff in it, you would spam the living crap out of it. I think Zami staff does similar damage, but your accuracy shouldn't be too big of an issue here. I think you can still splash. We'll keep an eye out for that. We'll see what happens. But if you aren't going to be dumping the crap out of adrenaline from this Essence of Finality, then Insight Fear is not really worth it. And you will get more out of Exannuate. So we'll see what happens, but let's take a look. Let's just give you the benefit of the doubt. You got the Omni Power. That was a massive Omni Power. Holy crap, that was huge, dude. Okay, well, so far it's good to see that you've got your overload on, you've got your book on, and you've got your prayers on as well. So none of that has been missed, which is good to see. It's definitely possible to do that while recording and stuff. Your prayer flicking looks pretty good. You did tell me that you are used to just tanking the melee hits because you normally use Crypt Bloom, so you may miss some melee hits. It's fine, don't worry about it. It's not going to affect your DPS. If anything, if you got the Zerk Relic, you may end up doing more DPS. Okay, so you didn't quite skip the first bit there. I think you could probably have skipped that. If you had just drank your Spiritual Prayer Potion literally just 1 or 2 more times, the Ripper Demon probably would have given you the damage you needed. I need to look up the Zamorak staff. Okay, so looking at the staff spec for Zamorak staff, it's exactly the same as Gothics, except rather than lowering their defense, it lowers their damage if they attack with magic. So you want to be spamming the living crap out of that. It costs 25% adrenaline, just like the Gothic staff does. You want to be spamming the crap out of it. You've got so much adrenaline because you've used Tsunami, and every time you sat on 100%, you're kind of wasting that. If you can use a basic, you've just used it there. But if you can use a basic rather than a threshold, you just want to be spamming that staff. Use it a couple of times there. You got 10k out of it each time. So just live off that stat spec, dude. If you're going to use Insight Fear, use that stat spec like every second ability. If your main thresholds are on cooldown, it's pretty much how you want to get through that. So you've used vulnerability, you've used smoke clouds. That's good to see. You can probably have skipped that first bit as well if you just used more Spiritual Prayer Potions too. I'd actually bring, honestly, I'd have brought maybe another 2 Spiritual Prayer Potions. We'll see how you do with food, but something tells me you probably won't need it. And you can just pretty much drink those. Every time you use Asphyxiate, drink it. Every time you use like Great Concentrated Blast, drink it, because you got that split second where you're not doing anything else, right? So just down those things, dude. Get through them as well. I want to see how many of those you use by the end, because so far you've drank 1 dose of it, I think. So it'll be interesting to see if you get through all of those. I also wouldn't have bothered sunshining here as well. The reason I wouldn't sunshine here is because you're so close to phasing as it is already. So you phase at 400k in this phase. So if you sunshine now, unless you're going to try and pull skip, which I don't think you'll be able to do, that sunshine's kind of wasted. You got really lucky on a relentless proc though, so it didn't kind of feel like a waste, but it would have normally been a waste if you didn't get a relentless proc there. But you're going to phase in just a second. You would have had to be building up to a adrenaline to use thresholds again here, which would have slowed you down. And now you're going to have to deal with the pulls, right? Which I'm assuming you will do. I doubt you're gonna skip without using a Staff of Armadil. Are you going to skip? No, okay. I was going to say, are you actually going to skip this? You're not far off, dude. Not far off, but that's good. So you've done a good job with that. I probably would have set off doing the pools a little bit sooner. So you asked about trying to beat your personal record here. If you set off for doing the pools just a little bit sooner, getting Enrage at Raksha actually reduces the damage you deal to him. So it doesn't only increase the damage that you deal, that he deals to you, but it'll also increase his defense, I guess. So you'll deal less damage to him, which slows you down overall. So getting the pools isn't just a pain because he hits harder, it's a pain because you hit like less as well. So you definitely want to make sure you get all those pools. You cleared the pools really well. You just need to start off like, what, a tick or two sooner, and that's pretty much it. So I would just keep that in mind. Your damage is good, dude. Your damage is really good. Considering you have Staff of Armadil, this face time is spawn. I've noticed you are using your bleeds and you are using Dragon Breath to make sure you get the most out of it, because you have Carapax Wrist Wraps, which is what I use here anyway, because you can't poison Raksha, of course. But what you could do, one thing you could pay attention to, is just walking the bleeds. Let's just go where you normally use bleed here. What you could do is use the bleed on him, step back as you use Dragon Breath. I think you're using Dragon Breath first, which is fine. But if you use the bleed, which you're going to do in a second, we'll see. In just a second, you use Dragon Breath first there, and then you're going to use the bleed. But if you use the bleed first, take a step back so he steps, and as he steps, that first one, use Dragon Breath, and it'll like do way more damage than that. It'll make those 600s do like, is it twice as much? I think, but it's a lot more, and it's just, you still don't waste any time or anything like that. So definitely worth doing. You need to re-vuln. I'll be interested to see if you do that. You did, and you applied Smoke Cloud. Brilliant. Good to see. Now you want a Sunshine here pretty much straight away, right? I would say. I guess Tsunami makes sense too, if you're going to use that and then Sunshine. Omni Power. You love your Omni Power. I mean, it's doing good damage, right? Your damage is good. I would have Sunshine though. You're probably going to Sunshine in a second. I've got a feeling. If you Sunshine with the pools, it's not the shadow. It's not worth it. Oh, maybe you don't Sunshine. Okay. Well, you're picking up the things. Good. There's two over there I probably would have picked up. I would have picked those up and gone straight back. So you've got at the moment 5 shadows. You only need about between 6 and 8 is the ideal number in a solo. I mean, it doesn't matter anyway. Between 6 and 8 is the number. So you've picked those up. You've got, in total, you've got 5 here, and there's 2 there. I would have picked those up by setting like where my mouse is now, and then gone straight back, instead of walking down to get this one here. This is just going to be getting used to the kills, though, getting used to it. You've missed that one there, which is unfortunate. But you still got 6. I would trigger that now and go straight into damage. Straight into damage. Because you're going to... The reason you don't want more than that, or the reason you're not fussed, it looks like you are going to go and pick up all of them, or as many as you can, right? Yeah, so you've got yourself 9 so far. So the reason you don't need 9 is because as you get to about 6, between 6 and 8, you're normally going to be hitting pretty much at hit cap anyway, right? And they start to lose their value, I suppose. I don't know the exact word for it right now on top of my head. Can't think of it. But as you do that, they become less valuable to you because they don't give you as much. Diminishing returns. It's diminishing returns. As you get more, they give you less than what they would normally do. Because if you're hitting the hit cap anyway, then getting more doesn't actually do anything for you. So you get about 6. As long as you hit 6, then by all means trigger it. You definitely want to be using that now, though. You've used Sunshine. Now you've used your Shadow, but you've only got 200k left. You get 30 seconds. He's going to be dead before this Shadow Anima runs out, 100%. I'm pretty certain he'll be dead before you run out of that Shadow Anima, which means you probably could have saved... I reckon you could have saved 30 seconds. Yeah, and you don't need to Sunshine. This is another thing as well. Sunshine and the Shadow Anima, it makes no sense to stack it really, unless you're just for some reason trying to get big massive hits so you hit cap every single time. But the reason is, again, it's diminishing returns. If you use Sunshine the second you phase, so when you use Tsunami, if you just Sunshine there instead, you're going to get the damage buff from that. Do as much damage as you can before the first shield. The first shield is time bound, by the way. It depends on his mechanics. So he does 2 tailspins and then he'll do the shield, right? But you want to do as much damage as you can before that even. So drop your Sunshine, use an Adrenaline Potion, do as much damage as you can, and then afterwards when you picked up this, you don't need to use Sunshine because they don't stack that well. They do stack together, but they don't stack that well, meaning if you use 6 to 8 of these shadow things anyway, the animas, you're going to be getting towards hit cap. If you add a Sunshine to that, you're just adding more damage to a damage that's already hitting hit cap. So it doesn't really give you as much as it possibly could do. So that 10k there with that Tsunami, it would have hit that without the Sunshine anyway. So it doesn't, like, you're missing out. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, you definitely would have saved quite a bit of time. So he is dead. You have only 5 seconds left on your shadow thing, which is fair enough, whatever. But you probably wouldn't have done any much more damage if you'd not stacked Sunshine together anyway. So that took you 349, which is fine. It's not a bad reactor time, especially on magic without the Staff of Armadil. But a few things that I've noticed. You've only used like 3 or 4 doses of your spiritual prayer potion here. You could have downed the crap out of that. You should get through 3 or 4 potions per fight, and you knock off, that'll be 30 seconds there that you knock off anyway. Honestly, if you just get through those spiritual prayer potions, you don't need this much food. So I'd drop 2 blubbers, or I'd drop 1 blubber and 1 brew flask, and I'd bring 2 more of these spiritual prayer potions. And every time you asphyxiate, every time you use any child ability, just down them. Anytime that you're doing anything that's not like intensive, just keybind it, put it on a key that's really comfortable, and just drink them. Just drink them. It doesn't matter. They're not wasted if your prayer is not low. Just get through them because they are damage. Every time you drink that, it's like 2 to 5k damage, depending on how high your Ripper hits. But you want to be abusing those, man. This is the reason that I could do Ambassador in Ganodermic earlier when I did that stream, the last stream. It's because all you need to do is just get the Ripper Demon to milk that damage, dude. Get through it. You'll save a hell of a lot of time on it. 100%. So you did do a good job. And I know I was talking quite a lot. Ratchet is a very fast fight. So I wanted to get the info in as I saw it. And I saw quite a lot of stuff, right? But you're doing really well. I mean, you've got really good damage. You do have good damage, to be honest. You really do. The few things like I would say is bring more spiritual prayer potions. That's going to be big. Make sure... I would try use Exannuate. I don't think you're using as much adrenaline as you need to. So I don't think you're using enough adrenaline to bother using Insight Fear, in all honesty. The Tsunami is great. Like, I get it. It's another thing you can use at 40% adrenaline. But every time I click, look, you're always on like nearly max adrenaline every single time because of Tsunami. And this just shows that you're not getting the most out of that Insight Fear that you could be. If you were dumping stat spec after stat spec after stat spec and you were getting rid of that adrenaline, then fair enough. But I don't think there's any point. I think the extra damage buff that you're going to get from using Rack and Ruin, and also the damage buff that you get from Rack and from Exannuate actually stacking up will be more valuable to you than the extra adrenaline that you're not using, because you're not using the adrenaline. Let's be honest, you're just not. It's not a dig or anything. Loads of people do this because loads of adrenaline sounds great, right? But if you're not dumping that adrenaline, then it's just sat there doing nothing. So it's expensive to use. Exannuate is cheaper. And also using Rack and Ruin, then Combust, walk that Combust, and then use Dragon Breath. You'll do a lot of damage to Raksha with that combo with your Carapac Wrist Wraps as well. So definitely try Exannuate. If you think it's not working very well, if you're not trying to get used to it, then just swap back. It's worth trying though. You could get more out of it. Down the living crap out of your Spiritual Prayer Potions. I wouldn't bother Sunshining, in all honesty, apart from at the beginning. And at the beginning of each phase, as in here, phase 1 and phase 4. So you Sunshine at the beginning here, which is spot on, of course. You just come from War's Retreat. You want a Sunshine, Adrenaline Pot. And then afterwards, you Sunshined a little bit later, just before phase 3 started. You Sunshined as well. I think you Sunshined here. You got lucky on a Relentless proc. This doesn't happen all the time. But don't Sunshine here, there's no point. Because you've got 56k damage to deal, and then you're leaving it. Now, I know you threw out a big damage thing, and it loads of damage or whatever. But it's not a big deal. It doesn't matter too much. If you didn't get a Relentless, you wouldn't have been using loads of abilities anyway. The Omni Power that you got, the Wild Magic that you got, the Asphyxiate that you got in there, all of that stuff came because you got a Relentless proc. So just don't worry about that too much. Just phase it, get rid of your pools, and then come back and do damage. If you want to stick to the Sunshine thing that you did, then fair enough. But try and do your pulls just a little bit sooner, because this was spot on, bro. The damage that you did here was actually incredible. You did so much damage, it was ridiculously good. But if you go through to get these pulls now, you could have been back just in time to make sure you didn't get anything, because once you get the Enrage, you deal less damage, and it's definitely something you want to keep an eye out for. It's not just increasing his damage, it's reducing the damage that he takes as well. So 15% is definitely a good amount. But your pool clear was good, by the way, like really good. You just needed to go a little bit sooner. Use that Essence of Finality more, because I know you do use it, and I've seen that you do use it, but just use it a little bit more because you've constantly on high adrenaline. You are getting a lot of Relentless procs, in all honesty. You really are. But it's that Wild Magic was free, unless it was the crit. It might have been the crit, but yeah, you don't need to set 100% adrenaline. Anyway, I hope that information does help. There's quite a lot of useful stuff in here. I'm glad that you submitted this clip. If anyone else wants to submit any clips, just literally DM me on Discord and you can upload something to YouTube as unlisted like this person did, and then just link me that and I'll take a look at it for you. Even if I can't make a video out of it, I will still take a look. I will give you any advice that I can think of. And as always, I'm not claiming to be an amazing PvMer. It's just if you guys think I can help you, then do send it my way and I'll take a look. And if there is anything I can tell you about, anything that I'm sure about, then I'll tell you. But again, I can only teach you as far as I know, and I still have loads to learn as well and improve in my own way. So it is what it is. Anyway, if you did enjoy, leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I'll catch you all in the next one. See you later, guys. Bye.